There were three movies that Babylon reminded my friend of: Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Great Gatsby, as well as The Wolf of Wall Street. And I can fairly say after seeing Babylon that sums up this movie. Babylon is directed by Damien, Chazelle, and stars Margot Robbie, Diego Calva, as well as Brad Pitt. This movie, I did see it today at a 3:30 showing. This was a very on the fence movie for a lot of people. I didn't get to see it until today, so I did see a lot of reviews. It's currently sitting at 55% on Rotten Tomatoes. So a lot of talk about this movie, as well as its box office performance as well. But for me, I went into it with an open mind. I didn't really want to have any preconceived, notions or thoughts. So I stayed away from reading most detailed reviews. Just kind of I read some snippets and quotes from different critics and whatnot. But I definitely wanted to walk into this one with my own thought process, especially with director Damien Chazelle. I think he's a very talented director, even though some of his work I haven't been the biggest of fans of. So in regards to Babylon, I definitely walked into this movie with an open mind. Having said that, I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I think that Babylon has a very great way of expressing that 1920s through 1940s era of Hollywood as well as film. I think that Damien Chazelle had a unique vision on this one, unique in the aspect of combining these different themes and elements that we've seen from different films, like the ones that I mentioned in the beginning of the review. In the beginning of the movie, we really start off very raunchy. It's very party-esque, very Wolf of Wall Street. We're seeing multiple naked women, lots of drugs, just a huge party scene. And then slowly throughout the film, we still have that comedic aspect, but the tone essentially changes, and we get more of a different look into this era of Hollywood and just the different details among these different three characters that we follow throughout the movie. And what I was reading and from some different people, the different characters that we follow throughout the movie, it may be hard to follow. I found myself very easily following what was going on throughout the movie with Margot Robbie, Diego Calva, and Brad Pitt. So essentially from the beginning, we're following these three people throughout Hollywood in the 1920s. We're transitioning from the silent era of films into the talkies, or the talking era of films, where we've now started to include audio as well as actual sound and music in films. And we get to see the transition of these three individuals, their hardships, what they do like about it, what they don't like about it. And it's such an amazing thing to see from the eye of Damien Chazelle. I think parts of the script were fantastic. There are fantastic scenes of dialogue in the movie. I think there are outstanding performances all around from Diego Calva, who I believe was in mostly Spanish television and film before this. I believe this was his one of his first major roles in a film, which I have to applaud and I have to give him props for, because he absolutely knocked it out of the park. As well as Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt in this movie. I believe Margot, her character, while seeming a bit shallow on the surface of things, really, she was able to add a depth to this character, as well as express what she was meant to express out of her specific character and what that character was meant to give the audience, in a sense. Brad Pitt, on the other hand, too, there's some definite moments in this movie where he is acting tremendously. And I found his role very important too, even though he seemed like such a cornball in the trailers. The trailers made his character seem very unimportant, but in the movie he has very important dialogue scenes and lines that are that definitely hit home, as well as his character arc in the film is very real and definitely represents a lot of what we've seen in society, in the industry today. So in my opinion, there's a lot of misconception about this film. I think it could be niche, There will be some people who don't like it. There will be some people who absolutely love it. Me, I absolutely love it because of the way Damien was able to go about telling this story. You know, he definitely included the chaotic aspect of 1920s Hollywood. There are scenes in this movie that go back and forth, similar to how Wolf of Wall Street was, where we had those chaotic office scenes and the rattling lines of dialogue between characters that just screamed and spewed chaos. We see most of that in this movie in the first half too. It explores that aspect of Hollywood during that time in a very convenient and effective way. It also explores the other aspects of 1920s Hollywood, as well as other aspects of that time era that the actors and characters in the movie were struggling with. And it really resonates and comes full circle in the end of the movie. I think that the plot itself and the way, like I said, how he explores this era definitely come full circle. And don't get me wrong, this is definitely its own movie, and it's a very special film in its own realm. With the three aspects that I'm comparing it to, I feel like the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is more of the script as well as the characters that we're seeing on film. The Great Gatsby being the set design and, you know, the production design that really captures the era that Damien was trying to capture. As well as the Wolf of Wall Street being, you know, the party scenes as well as the chaos that Damien captured on screen. But, you know, I don't want it to say, oh, it took from those movies. It is its own film, while at the same time using inspiration from those to create something of its own that is very cohesive, in my opinion. I did also really appreciate some of the nods to different old films that he included in the movie. Specifically, there was a clip during one of the final scenes of the movie that kind of showed the evolution of film, and I thought that was a really, really smart and just very visually pleasing of the film. And as for the plot of this movie, I feel like some may be stooped up on it or feel like it might be too crazy, but for me, the plot of the film was really just following these characters through that era of Hollywood and expressing these different themes and different attributes and different things that were happening and included in that era. And these characters were really just meant to express those different things and stories as well. And I really, really think that Damien did it very, very well. I think this is an awesome movie. Now, the first part did, for me, start off a little bit rocky. It started off a little bit too rowdy. I didn't really know what kind of film we were getting into. Was it just going to be this the whole time? And if it was I really going to watch 3 hours of this? But I will say, after the first 30 to 45 minutes, during that 30 to 45 minute mark in the film really starts to pick up, and you kind of start to see, the plot start to move and where the movie might be starting to go, even though I was still surprised with the ending and the whole process. I think Babylon deserves to be relooked at. I definitely do think that the movie will have a cult following. I think it definitely will be one of those films where people won't watch it now, and especially considering, the box office kind of fiasco that it's been having. They won't watch it now, but down the road, down the line, they're going to watch this movie, and it's definitely going to be appreciated a lot more than it was today, as well as just in general by the public. I think that the audience score on this right now, if I look, is 50%. It's a bit of a misunderstood gem, I will say. I will not say that the movie's amazing or spectacular yet, even though that is the way I kind of feel at the moment. I definitely have to watch it again to justify giving it that. But Damien Chazelle definitely created a special movie with Babylon. This movie expresses film in a great way. You can tell it was made by someone who loves movies and loves the aspect of the interpersonal feelings and stories from individual actors and actresses. I think Damien really explored film and the movies very, very well, and even for the audience as well. There's content in the movie that explains even the audience and why people might go to the movies, and I think it's a very special thing. I'd actually love to see what you guys thought of Babylon in the comment section down below. Did you guys like it? Did you see it? If you did, what did you think about it? What would you go watch it again? I probably am going to go watch it again. I just enjoyed it that much. I thought it was a fantastic movie. We had fantastic performances from Margot, Diego, and Brad Pitt as well. I just found it to be a great time at the movies, as well as just a fantastic film. Honestly, it was very, very good. But let me know what you guys think. Comment down below, like the video, subscribe if you guys want more reviews. Stay tuned. I got my best, mid, and worst movies of 2022 coming this weekend. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely subscribe. If it's past this weekend, definitely click on the channel and check it out now. But I will see you guys on the next review. Let me know what you thought of Babylon down below. Peace.